Okay, so tonight we're going to make Mongolian beef. One of the things I didn't do is I didn't do the startup sequence. I went ahead and did that. Don't think you need to see it too many times in a row. One of the things I'm doing different this time is I've elevated the wok by putting the woo in upside down. This allowed me to get a little higher spacing. I'm hoping to give me a little better temperature control on the wok. Where it's at now, we're pretty much ready to go, so at this point I'm going to immediately dive in. We're going to start with oiling the wok, and then I'll start putting in the beef that I've already prepared. Need a little bit more for the beef. It calls for a little higher oil count. There we go. Now I'm going to start putting in the beef. The beef was marinated with soy sauce and a little bit of cornstarch in it, and then dredged in cornstarch prior to this. After it was sliced, we went with a higher quality of beef on it, other than flank steak, just because we like our stuff a little less fatty. This meal is actually set up for a little over 3 people, so what we'll do is we'll do the Mongolian beef, and then we'll also do another dash of fried rice after the fact. And there we go. I need to give it a little bit to simmer. So now I'm going to start stir frying the meat. Spread it back out a little bit. Downside about this time of year and working on the egg is it does get a little darker sooner, so I went ahead and brought out a little extra light, so if you're noticing a little extra light in the frame. So a handy trick when cooking, if you're having some visibility issues, I usually keep my cell phone on hand, utilize my flashlight there, give me a quick look inside what I'm looking at here. Some of the meat still got a little pink to it, so I'm going to stir it up, give it a little bit longer. So it looks like we're almost done here. The meat was cut into 1/4-inch strips. So one of the things I'll need to do with the meat is once it is done, I will need to allow it to drain as much of the grease off of it as possible. Check it one more time, make sure we've got that deep brown coloration that you want from this kind of meat. Oh yeah, we're good. Got me a runner here. There we go. So that's got the meat ready. So now what I'm going to be moving on to is setting up for the actual Mongolian sauce. which we're going to start with soy sauce. Need quite a bit of it down in here for that. And we're going to go ahead and add in some seasoning, which includes garlic and ginger and brown sugar. I'm going to add in the water. At this point now, what I'll need to do is basically take the sauce and mix it around and get it going. Now it calls for a cornstarch slurry mixture. This will thicken it up. What I'm doing is I need to give this a few minutes of simmering. This will get all the flavors of all the seasonings I just put in. Allow it to thicken up really nice. You want it to have that thicker consistency. That way it'll stick to the meat. There we go, we've got the consistency we were after. So now I'm going to take the meat and scrape it back into the pan. What I'm doing now is I'm mixing the meat up into the flavoring of the seasoning that I just mixed in. Go ahead and add a little more soy sauce here in a second. Alright, at this point the meat's done, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the meat out. And then we're going to be prepping to make the fried rice. One of the things you may notice a little bit different about mine from regular Mongolian beef is mine does not have any onion in it. Unfortunately, that's at the request of my producer, who has a dislike for onions, so we have onion-free Mongolian beef. And that is done. And set this over to the side. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to want to do is I am going to start with mixing in a little more oil. And we're going to take the egg and get started on doing the egg for the fried rice. Once the egg about has the consistency I'm looking for, I'll go ahead and move in with the rice and start mixing that together. Tonight, because we're doing this as a side instead of a main deal, it's just a simple egg fried rice. We're not going to do any vegetables or anything like that. One of the things I can tell you comes with the joy of doing this the way I tend to do it is I tend to have fairly hairless hands. Kind of a running joke with me. It's tend to burn off the hair on my hands fairly frequently. These grills do get very hot, very quick. We are almost done. And there. Now I'm going to go ahead and get the rice going in. Little bit of soy sauce here. And there, we've got a lightly brown fried rice. And that's it from Corellian BBQ. I hope you enjoyed this.